Hi, my name is Ben McMurtrie, and I'm the band director at Mentor Memorial Middle School in Mentor, Ohio, and I'm speaking with you today about the way that I use scale and rhythm chunks with my band students. Students in Mentor schools begin band in grade 5, where they have weekly lessons once per week on their instruments in small groups. 3 of our elementary schools funnel into Memorial Middle School, and so I usually see roughly 80 to 90 students by myself in a band class. Of those 80 to 90, there are also mixed in between 10 and 20 students who are beginning band for the very first time. So the use of chunks allows me to integrate the students who are new with the students who have experience, and also to make sure that as they begin their second year of instruction, if they've played before, that their mastery on basic and important skills is really there. Also really like that in the second year, the students can come in and review things in a new book and feel like they've moved on from what they did in 5th grade, but it also ensures that they're really at a high level on those skills.
Hi, my name's Josh Van Gorder. I'm the band director at Spencerville Schools in Spencerville, Ohio, and I've been using the Chunks program with my kids for about 8 years now. We like to use the Chunks program starting in 5th grade as soon as the students can play the first 5 notes out of their method book. And I use it 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Hopefully some of the students finish it before then, but we definitely see really positive results all the way through from 5th grade through the junior high levels. By the time they get in high school, we've moved on from the Chunks book and are ready to work on more complex literature.
Hi, I'm Julie Bounds from Santa Teresa High School in San Jose, California, and I'm going to talk today to you a little bit about why I love chunks. So I teach high school band. I have 3 concert bands and a percussion group as well, and the reason why we decided to start using chunks is we were looking for a way to encourage our students to practice when we started having block schedule. So we weren't going to be seeing our students every day anymore. So I used rhythm and scale chunks first with my concert band. I started last year. And most of my students got past bronze level and into silver. And the students really enjoyed the program because they were able to test at their level and their pace. And if they didn't get something right, the exercises weren't super long, but they could go back and repeat it again. I have students that come from me from a variety of different backgrounds and also have played anywhere from 6 months to 2 years before they come to high school. Now that the freshmen have already completed the Rhythm and Scale Chunks program, at least at the bronze, if not silver level, they're now in our symphonic band. And so right now I'm integrating the symphonic band, introducing them this year into using the program. My goal is that anyone who in the future would audition for our advanced band would be all the way through the gold level before prior to auditioning for that group.
I use the scale and rhythm chunks with grades 5 through 8. We have an introductory period at the beginning of 5th grade where the kids are in sectionals. I don't really use it at that point, but starting in with the 3rd quarter, the kids then choose for sure whether they're going to be in band or choir, and at that point is when I start to use them, and I use them all the way through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
As soon as I distribute the Chunks books to our beginners, it is basically go time. And I will have them checking off chunks in class, usually in groups from 20 to 40 students. And I will bounce around from student to student, assessing them quickly and effectively. They either check off the chunk or I let them know what needs to happen in order for them to get it checked off, and then they get back to work. I've experienced so much success this way because students are motivated. They are excited. We like to have chunk challenges, and students, get a little bit competitive, and it's always friendly competition, always reinforcing the golden rule of band that we exist to make each other better. And the students will work hard, and you will see them help each other in order to check off chunks, especially when there's a reward involved, and they enjoy that very much.
3 years ago, my district cut our assistant band director. So as of right now, it is just me to instruct 5 through 12, a band for each grade plus a high school. So doing in-class assessment would be very difficult, would be very time-consuming. So I have decided to use the chunks in an email format. So the students email them to me, and then I grade each one and send them assessment back in their email. And this obviously doesn't take any class time, but it still gives me a way to assess the kids each quarter without, like I said, taking a lot of class time.
So being that I have a large number of students by myself, efficient and quick and purposeful assessment is really important. On top of that, I really like the ability to use chunks as a way to guide the students' practice, so I make sure that they are practicing worthwhile things and the things that they need to practice in order to take that next step in their instrumental growth. So as I kind of alluded to, most of the chunks that I use are used in a practice assignment kind of a setting. We're a one-to-one school, so I'm very fortunate that all my students have school-provided iPads, which allows them to interact with Schoology, which is a program that allows them to upload really any kind of artifact, including audio and video recordings, onto their iPads, which then I get on my own platform. It allows me to very quickly listen to the students and provide feedback through my own audio, video, or written comments. I've also begun to use some of the videos that are provided on the Scale and Rhythm Chunks YouTube page, which are really beneficial to provide additional instruction and not only feedback. So it just keeps getting better with the way that the chunks allow me to interact with my students, provide feedback, hear them more frequently, and I feel like that hearing them more frequently and the individual feedback that I can give them, it's really helped on top of all the learning outcomes for me to develop a better relationship with the kids and feel like I know them and they're playing a lot better because I hear them more often and I'm interacting back and forth with them on the Schoology platform much more frequently. Scale and Rhythm Chunks has been something that I have been using for, I believe, 5 years now, maybe 6. And being at different schools with this has also shown me that depending on the situation I'm in, changes the way that I use the chunks. So currently, this suits my kids the best, I think, but using them at other schools where we had team teaching, I used it a little more in class. I find, though, that no matter which way I've used it, it's improved the students' ability to read rhythms, to understand keys, and even though we still need to teach that stuff in the class setting, I find that the individuals get it much more quickly, and that kind of builds some momentum through the class so that, regardless of where the students are in the chunks, there's always some kids who've mastered the skills, who can kind of lead others, and their thought process of the way that they figure out chunks seems to carry through to the class in general.
I like it as a teacher because it laid a great foundation for the students. Say a student never quite understood what a chromatic scale is. Now we can catch them up with one of our short chunks that works on that. And maybe if a student has missed a fingering, we can also catch that as well.
I think it's positive in the fact that it has the students kind of be responsible for their own learning, that they can work ahead if they want to. They're not limited to what we do in class as far as if we were working in a method book, they can work ahead at their own pace, especially for that student that maybe is taking private lessons or even who just likes to practice and work ahead. That gives them the opportunity to do that.
I have seen our program go from one that struggles to read music and constantly reinforcing notes and fingerings to a program that is literate and that is completely musically free to work on higher level musical concepts because the students know how to read, they know what fingerings they need to use. Percussionists understand rudimental playing. They've also reinforced mallet playing as well as snare drum playing. And so it's a more well-rounded program, and we don't have to talk very often about fingerings, about key signatures, about note names and things like that. We can move a lot faster, and the students love to play literature instead of talking about note names, fingerings, etc. It doesn't mean that it's not there and that we still don't have to reinforce it. That will always happen. The Chunks program has just allowed us at Spencerville to be able to move much faster because of the wonderful teaching tool that we have in this Chunks program.
Students are better rhythm readers as a result of doing the chunks, especially those students who are working ahead and that are working past what the minimum requirement is for the kids to do each quarter. Those kids, I really see their rhythm skills improving. I definitely see an improvement in the rhythm skills of my 6th graders. So they started it as 5th graders, and they have been using it now. They're in their 2nd year of that. And I have 6th grade students that are reading easily dotted rhythms, 16th note rhythms, which in the past, if I had just been working out of the method book, that wouldn't necessarily be the case.
I really found that with the percussion section, it gave us a lot of flexibility. There are chunks just for snare drum, there are rhythm chunks also for them, and there are scale chunks for them. And this was a great way to get them both playing snare drum and mallets and making sure that we were teaching all of the fundamentals that come with being a percussionist.
I love the fact that I can positively provide incentives for the students. The motivation level has been very high, and the students own that. They want to achieve and they want to take the next step to the next chunk. So their motivation to do well really carries into my class, and I've seen that the class environment has improved in our time using chunks.
I always had students that kind of lagged behind or didn't understand rhythms, but I think that having them do the chunks on their own and coming to me if they needed help, but really working through those and using the book as a resource and working through those really improves their reading skills. And I would say that's probably the biggest indicator of success.
As music teachers, we look to make our grade books more accountable. We look to being able to explain to our administrators and parents and in IEP meetings how students are improving over time. And this program can show exactly the concepts that a student is strong with and the areas for which they need to improve, which is really outstanding. Some of the biggest indicators of success for me were seeing students that were not very literate in music, either rhythm reading or note reading, and who turned it around and now I see are reading music. We even teach visually impaired students here at Santa Teresa. One of the things that we were able to do is have students play the rhythms and the songs or the short exercises for our visually impaired students, and then they were able to learn them and play them back, and it helped them really learn these concepts because they're in shorter little snippets for them. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with the program. I feel that it brings more accountability to the students and to the organization. I think it motivates the students and it gives them something very clear and simple to practice, and also they can improve over time, which is great.
I have seen students gain confidence so much faster, and we started this program 11 years ago with 30 high schoolers and 60 middle schoolers. And now, through the use of this program and definitely adopting a family atmosphere in our band program at Spencerville, now we have over 80 in the high school and about 150 in the elementary and middle school. And this is a rural school district, and programs such as the Chunks program that allows students to work at their own pace, allows for differentiated instruction, has really allowed our program to be a success. And very quickly at that, tripling the size of the program in just about a decade, I can definitely attest it to really positive teaching models, and then my ability to use this program in a way that benefits the students. That's really one of the magical parts of the Chunks program, is that it is student-centered. It's not about the director assimilating different pieces of music or different exercises. It's all about the students being able to work and do the things that they need to do to improve right now. And they're able to get better so much quicker. And then it's reinforced chunk after chunk, and so the information sticks. It's not something that they learn and then it's gone. They have it and they retain the information information, and then it's our job as directors to be able to just reinforce it in our rehearsals and in the literature that we pick for them to play. And students, time and again, have been so much more successful as a result of using this Chunks program. It's really great.
I've noticed that students in the upper grades sight read more effectively, we're playing more challenging literature, and in general, just the musical achievement level has been a lot higher. I can't say enough about scale and rhythm chunks. I hope that you are either using them or considering using them, and I wish you the best of luck in applying them to your situation. Like I said, I can't speak highly enough, and I wish you the best of luck.